Welcome to another episode of The Ads That Shaped Us. I'm Claire, I'm the head of people at Good Loop.
I'm Claire as well, and I'm the head of investment and sustainable media at Good Loop.
I'm Julia, and I'm the chief commercial officer at Good Loop.
This time we're looking at ads that recognise the barriers faced by women in the workplace and how they use their platform to empower women like us. First up, we've got an advert by Carpenter. Let's enjoy.
Familiar faces, worn out places, worn out faces, bright and early for their daily races, going nowhere, and their tears are filling up their glasses, no expression, no expression.
Yes, it would come as no surprise to anyone that I've been called bossy on a few occasions. But what's really frustrating is, being called selfish for pursuing your career or for choosing not to have children, or cocky and manipulative for getting men to do as you say. But it's about being influential. A man doing it would just be influential, or stubborn instead of steadfast when making a decision. It's if you're convinced and you're confident that you've made the right decision, then you're steadfast. But otherwise it's just an excuse to call you stubborn. But what's interesting with this is the cultural connotation around the word bossy in particular. Growing up in Spain, if you're called bossy as a little girl, it's actually quite an endearing compliment. It's kind of like, and particularly men, they quite enjoy seeing this little girl being assertive and being bossy, but it's seen as like a good thing. And my dad in particular would say, look, she's so bossy, she's so confident, she's got it, she's just got all that charisma. So it's kind of, when I moved here, it was like, what, hang on, is this not good behaviour? Yeah. And then it had that negative connotation, and it was kind of, for me to, as you say, suppress it. And push that somewhere else. But
it's very true. It's like, when does that balance suddenly tip from being a good thing because we want to raise strong, confident young women? Why does it suddenly flip just because it's in the workplace or because you're an adult? Actually, all of those traits you think actually are things that you want to try and encourage. So why should it suddenly
exactly? And when do you become threatening then? At what age?
Aggressive.
And aggressive. People said that to me a lot. And you're too, what's the word, like brassy or confrontational. It's like, no, I'm just direct, I'm just clear.
To the point.
But I think also particularly the labels that aren't just appointed to me as a woman, but as a woman in my particular role as the head of people. I've been called the Grim Reaper far too many times because there's this negative connotation that HR only shows up when someone's about to get fired. And it's kind of,
there's so much more
there's much more to it. But then my kindness gets mistaken for weakness quite a lot, particularly by men. They just think they can walk all over me. And then when they see this confident side, I'm just called bossy. But hey, it's just,
you are the boss.
I'd like to think so. Thanks, Hillary.
You're welcome, darling. So I am choosing a Gatorade ad that features Serena Williams. She is an icon of life. I just think she's incredible. I think especially for like millennial women, she's almost been a consistent since our own teen years as well, and we've sort of grown up with her. But she's just a badass, and this advert is killer.
Right, so let's watch it.
When the world writes her down in history, we'll begin where she started, at love. No points, zero score, just love. It's a love that we'll remember through the generations, a love that started a movement to always love exactly who you are and who you can be. To be so in love with your identity that your very essence cannot be contained. To love the sound of your own voice and the way you move. To feel like a queen unapologetically, with a crown indefinitely. To cherish every muscle and every curve your body exhibits. A movement to always love being a proud Black woman, a parent, a dreamer, a leader.
Yes, ladies, it can be done.
To love being one of a kind, to always love being you. The whole you. The real you. You. To always love you. So when we write her down in history, no matter who you are, no matter where you are, we'll remember what she's shown us. A movement to love you.
And you.
I mean, now get the tissues.
I'm not going to drink Gatorade as a consequence, but I just
So
I think also it's the love affair between Serena and Beyonce as well.
Yeah.
So there's like a sisterhood between the two of them, and women supporting women is just like the
Powerful.
coolest and most loving thing. And I think, especially in the world of work, like women do really need to look out for one another and, you know, make sure that we're all sort of safe. Not that it's a sort of us versus them, but just like to spot when people aren't upholding women or doing people
to
down.
champion each other
Yeah.
as well. You know, that's exactly like that's the feel I get from that as well. You know.
Yeah, it's a sisterhood,
Yeah.
and that's why I just love it.
To me, it's the bit that really
Yeah,
comes
totally.
out on that.
She's-
Sort of, just like not having to apologise for who you are. I think even when you do so well as a woman, the natural thing is to be like, oh well, it's because of, and down there, and actually,
all the time,
you shouldn't
yeah.
have to apologise for being really amazing as Serena has been.
also that focus on who you are now, but who you want to be.
Yeah.
And having that ambition is okay. It is good, and yeah, that's for me the thing that I took from it is the most powerful element.
So, last but no means least, Act 3, I've taken it back a little bit. I've chosen a body form ad, and it's called The Truth. So it's talking a little bit about women's health, which is, you know, back in when this was actually, I think it's about 10 years old or something. So I think we've come quite a long way in those 10 years, but I remember this one kind of standing out as being quite out there at the time. So I'll press play.
Hello, Richard. I'm Caroline Williams, the CEO of Bodyform. We read your Facebook post with interest, but also a sense of foreboding, and I think it's time we came clean. We lied to you, Richard, and I want to say sorry. Sorry. What you've seen in our advertisements so far isn't a factual representation of events. You're right. The flagrant use of visualizations such as skydiving, rollerblading and mountain biking, you forgot horse riding, Richard, are actually metaphors. They're not real. I'm sorry to be the one to tell you this, but there's no such thing as a happy period. The reality is, some people simply can't handle the truth. In the past, we've tried to be more honest in our approach. In the 1980s, we ran a series of focus groups to help us gauge the public's reaction to periods. The cramps, the mood swings, the insatiable hunger. And yes, Richard, the blood coursing from our uteri like a crimson landslide. So, we knew we'd have to change our strategy. And so, from that day to this, we have managed to maintain this illusion. But you, Richard, have torn down that veil and exposed this myth, thereby exposing every man to a reality we hoped they would never have to face. You did that, Richard. You. Well done. I just hope you can find it in your heart to forgive us. Oh, sorry, Richard. You did know that we do that too, didn't you? Hello, Caroline Williams. Yes.
Love it. Love it. It's great to us still.
I just love the use of humour because it is a topic that for so long has been, you know, actually playing on the strength of the brand. They know that they've almost had some failings in how they've portrayed it. So for this to come out and kind of like almost like wipe that clean and start again, I think was brilliant. And yeah, the use of comedy helps, absolutely. You know, the touch of the blue water of not being able to use the red liquid because that would be too realistic for people to handle.
Too upsetting.
And when you think about it, the realistic sort of truth is that 50% of the planet goes through this monthly. I also really love that it's the CEO and that the CEO is a woman and that they've taken, like there's a scene where she's in the boardroom and bringing it to a real modern, you know, workplace essentially actually cuts down that barrier of it. You know, it was like quite a private thing. You might discuss it with friends and family, but you would never discuss it in the workplace. And actually, it's such a fundamental part of all of, you know, our lives, and it can affect your work and day. So I just really like the way that they've used the CEO, the boardroom, all of that to kind of bring it to life.
Exactly. I think like so much has happened. Bodyform have always been amazing in terms of putting women first. When you think about like the uterus stories and all of that, and like they're just so incredible and they're really good at pushing the envelope. And like even in the past 3 years, people are able to talk about periods so much more. Like more and more companies have period policies, maternity policies, menopause policies. Like it benefits one half, but it's a benefit that we've fought for such a long time.
I was going to say, and actually from a business point of view, it helps your business. Like having that comfort to be able to talk about it means that your team are all going to perform better and feel more comfortable. So thank you for watching this episode. We hope you've enjoyed it. We'd love to hear your feedback. If you have any favourites, if you have any that we haven't mentioned, please do pop them in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe and watch the next episode.